Oh, hey YouTube. This is my first video on this channel, and I actually have another channel that I used to do weigh-in videos on before, but I decided that I kind of wanted to have a fresh start because this is going to be kind of a little bit different from what I was doing before. This is my first weigh-in video, not ever, but for the journey that I am about to embark upon all over again. Right now, I am 152.2 pounds. Not really ideally where I'd want to be. At one point, I was down at 127 pounds. I did that all through Weight Watchers, and I think a lot of things happened since then. I live in Victoria, BC, and during the time when I was on this journey of mine, I was also going through a really, really stressful time where I was working full time, I was going to school full time, and I was just outright exhausted. And I really lost the opportunity to focus on myself. And when I did lose weight, it wasn't in a healthy way. And that's something that I'd really, really like to do this time around. Um, I think before I made mistakes in terms of losing weight in an unhealthy way based entirely on restricting my calories and not focusing on the quality of calories that I was actually eating in the first place. Second of all, it involved denying myself a lot, which for me I've just realized is not suitable for a sustainable meal plan whatsoever. And I also didn't feel healthy, despite the fact that I was thin and that I had lost a lot of weight. I still felt really tired and fatigued all the time. And so I'm kind of changing the way that I'm doing things this time, and I'm going to see where it goes. This is kind of a little experiment with me and my body because it's one thing to be thin, but it's another thing to be healthy a lot of times. You can be both, but that's definitely something that I wasn't. Um, I guess weight is part of my focus on changing my meal plan. It is a measure of my success. It's not my entire measure of success in terms of how well I'm doing. Um, I mean, I can also tell how far I've come just from the way my clothes fit, the way my measurements change over the course of a period of time, and I think I've measured a lot of my self-worth by a number on my scale, which was not healthy. So this time I kind of decided to examine a few different ways of losing weight, but also getting healthy. And the thing that was really important to me this time was seeing the meal plans that made sense to me, that sounded healthy to me. This time I've chosen to do something called the Paleolithic diet. I don't really like the term diet because it kind of, to me, symbolizes some sort of impermanence. But the entire premise of it is to eat like a caveman before a lot of the processed food came out. So a big part of the way that I plan to be successful is, first of all, cutting out processed foods, cutting out refined sugar, and just actually cutting out a lot of bread. I found that over the past few years, um, I've had a lot of issues with my stomach. I've also had a lot of issues with water retention, and I feel like that's more a process of what I was eating, despite the fact that I was losing weight. So the Paleolithic diet also includes eating a lot of fruit and vegetables and nutrient-rich foods and things that are just generally known to be good for you. This is something that makes sense to me, that when I think about it logically, I think, yes, this sounds like a healthy way to eat. This sounds like something I can maintain. This sounds like something that's sustainable. Something that really doesn't work for me is calorie counting. I'm not somebody who is good at obsessively writing down every single thing that I eat every day. So to me, the thing that makes sense is not feeling deprived, not having to keep a journal of every single thing that I'm eating, and the things that I do eat, I want to be nutrient rich and full of vitamins and things that are going to replenish my body. Part of my exercise program involves a combination of actually cardio and strength training. Another measure of success for me is kind of fitness related and relates to endurance, relates to being able to lift a certain amount of weight. Um, and it's really easy to set goals that way. So, I understand that weight loss is a long journey because I've done it before. It's not an easy task, and I have come up with a lot of compelling reasons as to why I'm going to be successful this time. So, if you're interested in sticking along with me for my journey, then that's great and feel free to subscribe. Again, my starting weight is 152.2, I think it said this morning. I plan to do my weigh-ins every Friday because weekends are generally a time where I like to relax a little bit and treat myself to something that I don't usually have. So, again, if you're interested in sticking along with me on this journey and seeing my results, and maybe even trying it yourself, then feel free to click subscribe and let's see what happens.